Hey folks, welcome to Module 2. In this module, our expert will be showing you how to outsource jobs to freelancers for specific projects. So get ready to take some notes and let's jump right in.
All right, guys, so here we are on Upwork. Now we're going to be looking at Upwork and Fiverr.com for hiring project-based freelancers, meaning you have a job, you need that job done, you're going to pay someone for that project. Now it might be an upfront agreed on cost for the entire project, or you could pay per hour, okay, depending on exactly what the project is and obviously the desires and the needs of the individual who's completing the project for you. Some people will only work for an hourly wage as opposed to agreeing on a project-based payment. Now, Upwork is a great place to come to because it's a little bit higher end than Fiverr, or at least it's perceived that way. And you can certainly get a lot of great applicants from here. However, what comes with the territory? Price. You are going to be paying a little bit more when you go to Upwork versus Fiverr for specific projects. So in this case, let's say that we're actually looking for an appointment setter. Okay, there's no shortage on Upwork of different types of positions and specialists. Okay, you could come up with anything, and it's probably on Upwork. Anything from web design to software development to voiceovers, graphics design. But for our example, let's do appointment setting. And appointment setting just means following up with leads or even cold calling and trying to get appointments set up for sales calls. Okay, so let's try appointment setting. And we've got several pages worth of results here, okay? A lot of people here are doing appointment setting, and as you can see, it's always in parallel with sales and telemarketing. A lot of people who are marketing themselves as appointment setters will also happen to have closing as a skill, meaning they can also do the actual sales calls for you. They can also do the closing calls for you. A lot of them will be cold callers. They can do cold calling. Some people will specifically say in their resume that I will not do cold calling. I work with warm leads only. Okay, so you'll need to make sure you find one that fits what you're looking for. Let's just click on Deborah here. Actually, she doesn't actually specifically say appointment setting. Oh yeah, she does right there. So let's click on hers. Let's have a look at her Upwork profile. So she's got an 80% job success rate. That's one of the things you want to look at here is how exactly your fellow job posters are rating the people here. So we've got relevant work, then we've got all work history, okay? There's a lot of cold calling, lead generation, social media sales, so it looks like she actually does sales calls as well. And it looks like for the most part she has some pretty good feedback, or in some cases no feedback. Right here, 3 stars but no explanation given. Okay, in my book, I usually only want to take a very negative review seriously if there's some details given. But relevant work will be specifically, things that include that keyword, appointment setting or appointment setter. And it looks like she's had a lot of success doing that job for people in recent history, okay? She's done 256 jobs on Upwork. She's earned into the 6 figures. She has an hourly rate of $28. And she's worked a whole lot of hours here. So it looks like she might actually be a good candidate to search for. And this is the process that you would use if you were searching Upwork for qualified candidates manually. However, the thing about Upwork, let's actually come back to Deborah, is you'll notice you can't just reach out to them directly like you can on some other sites, because it's not a gig or a micro job site like Fiverr. So you actually have to have a job posting listed on Upwork to invite them to. And in this case, we know that we don't, or the software knows that we don't. So it says post job to invite. That's the only way we can get in touch with Deborah. So we have to post a job. First, we could do that by clicking that button. But the standard way is just to come up here, jobs, and click post a job. Create new job. And we're going to go ahead and name our job post. Appointment setter. Job category. Upwork automatically put that in lead generation, which sounds like a good place for it. We'll hit next. and description. Now, we've already got an example typed up here for an appointment setter job description, and we're just going to explain everything that we need. So we are in Westchester County. We need people to set up appointments on telephone. Responsibilities include cold calling local businesses with some leads provided to set up appointments for senior sales executives. So there's your sales guy. He's going to be the one actually closing the calls. Okay, the appointment setter is just someone who actually goes out there and is good at cold calling and getting people interested in setting up an appointment in the future. Okay, follow a simple script. They need to be able to do that. Also responsible for sourcing prospecting leads through internet searches such as Yelp, Google, and other internet sources. There's a proactive duty that's included in this job. Follow up with prospective leads. Confirm appointments for the senior sales executive. Act as a liaison between client and sales rep once the prospect has agreed to setting up an appointment. Now, if we had other project files that we needed to upload, we could put that right here, but we don't, so we'll hit next. And in this case, it sounds like for an appointment setter, we probably are looking for an ongoing project, not a one-time project. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click that. And we're looking for probably just these skills right here. Sales, that's not really necessary because we're having them pass leads through to the sales man, and we've got telephone handling might be a good one, and we'll go ahead and leave it at that. We don't want to add too many skills and over filter here. Let's go ahead and hit next, and we're looking for freelancers. We could go worldwide. We could go find somebody in the Philippines, right, or the UK or Australia, someone who seems to have a pretty standard English accent, and we could have them calling in the United States if we wanted to provide the service, or the infrastructure for them making those international calls. Okay, for example, we could, if we were doing this via Skype, that would be an option. But for our purposes, let's do US only. And states and time zones, let's just say Central Time. Next. Who can see your job? Only Upwork freelancers, anyone. Let's go ahead and increase the reach to anyone. If we wanted to, and we only wanted to reach out to people like Deborah, who we were just now looking at, and manually invite people, we could do invite only. Putting anyone on here or only Upwork freelancers means everybody on Upwork will see the job posting, and if it applies to them, you're going to get a ton of applications to sift through, okay? Which may be good, may be bad, okay? How many freelancers do you need for this job? We're looking for just one, and we have an option here of selecting past freelancers that we've worked with to specifically invite right from the get-go. We do not have any, but we will, theoretically, go back to that results page for people who have appointment setter as a skill on Upwork and go and start manually inviting people who we're interested in to come and apply to our job. We could add special qualifications here, such as independent or agency, if we want just one person, who's working for themselves from home, for example, or if we want an agency, so somebody who's actually running an office with a few people who are doing multiple projects or multiple jobs. Hours billed on Upwork. Let's say we only want people who have worked 500 hours or more, okay, to filter quality a little bit. Job success, let's say 80% and up. English level, self-assigned, let's say native or bilingual is important. And group, leave to no preference. Let's hit next. Pay by the hour or pay for a one-time project. Now let's say we're just running a campaign here, okay, and we're just hiring someone for a one-time project. We could click that. Do you have a specific budget? Let's say we are willing to spend $2,500. And in this case, we would probably be setting some type of a quota, right? So let's say we're just opening a new B2B service in a certain city. And we just want to get, 20 appointments set. All right, we're not looking to actually hire someone on as an employee, as a permanent team member. We just want them to do this one project for us. So we're going to put a fixed price, $2,500, and we want to go for intermediate experience to make sure that the job gets done the first time around. And there you go. There is our project-based freelancer job posting. We could post this, and suddenly a ton of people on Upwork would see it and come check us out. So that's the Upwork side of things. Again, Upwork is seen as a little bit higher level. It's a little bit more expensive, but generally speaking, you're seen as getting higher quality workers and work done. Now, the other end of the spectrum could be Fiverr. Okay, Fiverr.com, you're paying for, Fiverr started out as literally just a $5 micro job website. Okay, obviously now very few people buy things for just $5 on Fiverr. Okay, but it's still dirt cheap. It's gig based. So just go accomplish one thing and you're done. Okay, there's no hourly rates, although you could theoretically arrange something like that and do that manually. Okay, and we're going to say we just need a website built. Okay, so we're here on Fiverr. We're searching. We can sort by recommended or newest arrivals or best selling. Newest arrivals is a good way to try and get somebody who's willing to work on the cheap because they're trying to build up their portfolio. They're trying to get more reviews. As you can see, these people don't exactly have a lot of stars there, and that usually means they're willing to do work for cheaper. Obviously, be careful with that because that could mean that you're going to get low quality work done. Obviously, there's more assurance of quality if you use recommended or best selling. So let's come over to best selling for website builders and content management systems. And we've got a lot of different options here to look at. And remember the dollar number that you're seeing here is only the starting price. That's the lowest entry, the lowest level of what they have to offer, okay? Another thing you're looking at is what level of seller are they. If they're a level 1 seller, that means they're still relatively new, but they've accomplished enough basic stuff and gotten good enough reviews for those things that you can more or less trust that they're going to do a pretty good job, okay? From their perspective, level 1 means they have some restrictions and cool things that they cannot do as far as how to charge money and how to customize their gig listing and that sort of thing. But from our perspective, level 1 just means they've been around for a little while, not super long, but they've got some experience under their belt and they have met a certain minimum level of customer satisfaction, which is good. I would say, unless you're really looking to to sort of pinch the pennies and tighten your belt buckle and get things as cheap as possible, if you're not looking to do that, I would say stick to level 2 or top rated seller. Okay, level 2 is you've been around for a while. It means they've completed, as it says right here, 50 orders on time with a minimum 4.8 rating, whereas level 1, 10 orders on time with a 4.8 rating. And you can just have a little bit more assurance and you can sleep better at night when you hire someone level 2 or top seller. Top rated seller means someone with at least 100 orders, minimum 4.8 rating, and these guys are manually hand-picked by Fiverr. So this is sort of the creme de la creme. Okay, we've also got Pro, which is a new feature on Fiverr. Okay, where as you can see right there, it says only 1% make it to that level. However, you're going straight to Upwork level pricing there. These people are going to be pretty expensive, which is fine. Okay, but if you're on a budget, let's just take this one for example. Make professional website with responsive design. We need a website built. We need somebody who we know has built lots of websites. Okay, and we need it done relatively cheap. This guy has a full 5-star rating and has built apparently 567 websites or accomplished, that number of gigs. All right. As you can see, we've got a bunch of different options here, including the number of pages that are done. Basic SEO are done in the standard and premium package. Let's see, pop-ups on this one here. He'll install e-commerce on the premium one. So even the most expensive one here, which includes a lot of awesome stuff, is pretty cheap. That's $300 for a pretty robust and substantial website. Let's have a look at the portfolio. This is his portfolio of work that he's done. Okay, so these look like pretty solid websites. He's got a solid portfolio of good-looking websites, and you can get the max package with all the goodness in it for $300, for $295 right there. Now, the way that this works is you're literally hiring people directly. You're not posting a job here. Although you can post sort of a job/inquiry/request and have multiple people respond to it. There is an option for that. Generally speaking, the way Fiverr works is you reach out, and it's just like a marketplace, just like Amazon. You're looking at products and looking at the ratings for those products on Amazon. Here, you're looking at gigs and individual workers, okay, vendors, and you're looking at their ratings, okay, for past work, and you're choosing them, okay, not the other way around. You're not posting like you would on Upwork and then having other people come and apply to work with you. All right, so that's how Fiverr.com works, and it's a great way to save some money, get some work done. And obviously the other thing that we talked about was Upwork, where you actually post a job with all the specifics, and then you're going to be sifting through applications to pick the best qualified person. And again, Upwork is perceived as being a little bit higher end, higher quality. So by now we've talked about full-time permanent team members, and then we just talked about freelance project-based freelancers. So now it's time to move on to talk about how to actually manage those people, manage tasks, manage projects, collaborate with them, and make sure work is getting done well once you've got them on your team working for you, either as freelancers or permanent team members.